Let's talk about something that has been on my mind quite a bit, and that is energy management and how it's different and, in my opinion, more effective and more efficient than time management. We spend so much time managing the time because it's a limited resource. We figure out time blocking, we use planners, we use calendars, but what we often don't keep in mind is that we can't be fully present, we can't be on top of our game, and we can't be doing our best work all the time. So really what it comes down to get more done is managing our energy levels wisely as opposed to managing our time the best we can. So let's talk a little bit about that and why I really want to encourage you to forget time management and focus on energy management instead. It's been a powerful shift for both myself and Tracy here at Smart Pick Marketing, and I think it'll do the same for you. So the first thing we need to talk about, I think, is energy cycles. We all go through different cycles. We have high points and low points throughout the day, and you probably notice this yourself. Maybe if you're an early bird like myself, you have a lot of energy early in the morning, but you're really feeling a slump in the afternoon. Or maybe you feel it right after you come back from lunch. Often if we eat a big meal, we have an energy slump following that as our body is busy digesting all that food. Maybe you're a night owl, like my husband, for example, who really thrives on working late into the evening, and that's when his energy levels are the highest. Ask him to do something in the morning, it'll be a lot more challenging. So really pay attention to those energy highs and lows throughout your day. A great way or a great exercise you can do to help you discover this is to keep a little journal or a log. You can keep this on a little piece of paper, in a notepad, or even in the notes section on your phone, and just kind of check in with yourself throughout the day at different times and see how you feel. Is your energy low? Is your energy high? Is it easy to work on difficult tasks during this time of the day, or do you struggle much more? So pay attention to that and see if you can identify the natural highs and lows that your body goes throughout the day. And another thing that I wanted to mention is that particularly for women, we have monthly cycles as well that are tied to our cycles. Maybe you find that you have a spurt of energy right before that time of the month. Maybe during and immediately after you feel lower in energy. So pay attention to that and honor that as well. It's a little outside of the scope of this video. There's some great resources out there, definitely something worth checking. But going back to the daily energy cycles, once you've done your tracking and you figured out your time periods or times of day that you're feeling high energy versus low energy, then you can start to make some smart decisions. So you want to schedule your most demanding, your most impactful tasks for those periods of high energy. Makes sense, right? If you need to really focus and concentrate, and it's going to take every single brain cell that you have to accomplish a certain task, you want to do that during high energy times. And then save the busy work, save things like checking up on social media comments or making some pretty graphics or whatever low energy tasks look like for you. Schedule that during times when you maybe struggle to really be there 100%. Another thing I want to talk about is the different types of energy, because there's more than one. We tend to think of either physical energy, we get tired after a long workout or a long hike, that kind of thing. And most of us are also aware of mental energy. You probably noticed this during exam week in college, or if you've been pulling an all-nighter to finish a project, or you've just been working hard, burning the candle on both ends to get something finished, whether that's a book, a new website, a new course. If you've been putting in a lot of work, you feel mentally drained. You've used all your mental energy. But there's two more that we don't often think about and talk about. One of them is spiritual, and this can be, it doesn't have to be religious or anything like that, but it's really what it boils down to is it is a source of a sense of purpose, having a sense of purpose and having a sense of connection. When we're low on those, like for example, when we've been really isolated in the early days of the pandemic, that kind of energy drains and is low. And of course, to replenish that, call a friend, talk to somebody, go out, attend a conference, those kinds of things. And then the last one, and one that I've been dealing with here a little bit because we've had a loss in the family, is emotional energy. You know, during times of really high emotion, especially emotional pain, like the loss of somebody, it is normal and to feel drained, to feel tired. You know, I've been needing a few more naps. I've been needing to be more gentle with myself. So if you find yourself going through a very emotionally charged period of time, you know, give yourself some grace and remember that this is a form of energy. And if we are low on any of these 4 types of energy, it affects the amount of overall energy we have available to work on the projects that are important to us. So to quickly recap, the 4 types of energy are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So pay attention to all 4 of those, especially if you find yourself running kind of low. So what can we do to help boost our overall energy? You know, becoming aware of your high energy periods is great, but what can we do to overall raise our energy levels? I have a couple of tips there for you. And the first one is to really pay attention to your morning routine. You want to set the tone. You want to set yourself up for success and make the most out of that pot of energy that you have for the day. Great way to boost your energy is with a morning routine that includes hydration. Our brain needs a good bit of water, and I think we're all chronically dehydrated. So simply drinking a big glass of water as soon as you wake up, or you know, with your first cup of coffee, can make a really big difference. It surprises me, and what surprises me even more is how often I forget to follow my own advice. So make it part of your morning routine. Stretching or doing some sort of exercise, moving your body, is another great habit to get into early in the morning. It kind of loosens any tension that you might be carrying, and it gets the blood flowing. Again, all of this helps mobilize all that energy that you're ready and waiting to tap into. Another great exercise is mindfulness. So just take in a few minutes in the morning to write in a gratitude journal, to think about what you're thankful for, or maybe doing a short little morning meditation can be a great way to set the tone before you dive into work. And then last but not least, consider breakfast. You know, for some people it works really well eating a nutritious breakfast. Ideally something with some fiber, with some protein is great here. You want to stay away from sugar. It might give you that quick burst of energy, but then you'll find yourself crashing. Another thing to consider is skipping breakfast. I've been playing around, as you may know, with intermittent fasting, and I find that my mind is much clearer and I have much more mental energy in particular if I push back and not eat until maybe a late lunch or possibly even just dinner. So play around with that and see what works well for you, and kind of build a morning routine around these core concepts to help you set the tone for a high energy day, you know, with enough stamina to carry you through until every single task on your list is checked off. Of course, starting the day this way is great, but how do you sustain that energy throughout the day? Something very important, and something I'm, again, horrible at, is taking breaks. So the Pomodoro method actually works great here because it has built-in breaks for you. If not, you know, just remind yourself to take a break, get up, move around, and just give your mind a little bit of rest to be able to recharge those energy stores. Balanced nutrition is important here as well. You know, you want to keep your body and your mind running as efficiently as possible, and a balanced diet with plenty of fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, the kind of stuff you hear about all the time, can help you, as opposed to, eating a bunch of junk food, that kind of thing. Just think about Thanksgiving, when we all overindulge in foods that probably aren't all that great for us. You end up being super tired later in the afternoon, and all you want to do is crash on the couch and maybe watch some football or a parade or something. And again, let's go back to hydration. It is so important to keep everything running efficiently and to keep the brain and the mind going. So remind yourself to drink some water throughout the day. One thing that has helped me is to just have a glass of water readily available all the time and to just sip on it throughout the day. And then last but not least, move. Again, just get up, move around, walk up and down the stairs, go out for a walk, do a few jumping jacks, maybe a little yoga, whatever makes sense to you. Move your body and kind of help replenish all of those energies, get rid of that tension, and see how that helps you sustain your energy levels throughout the day. Next, let's talk about some energy zappers. A big one for me is screen time. In particular, non-work related, non-productive screen time. So scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, playing mobile games, watching Netflix, YouTube, you name it. Those kind of things all tend to zap my energy. So I try to save those activities, because I enjoy them, for later in the day after I've gotten the most important things out of the way. And I make it a priority not to indulge in that type of screen time during my high energy periods of the day. Another energy zapper, and something that surprises me, is bad posture. I'm horrible at slumping, and it kind of, I guess it pushes everything in. It makes it a little harder to breathe. It makes it harder for the blood to flow and all that kind of stuff. So making an effort to sit up, open your chest, and really focus on good posture can help you sustain your physical and your mental energy throughout the day. Another one is unhealthy snacks. I am the worst about just grabbing something salty or something sweet when I'm starting to feel tired. And yes, it might give you that instant little boost, or sometimes even just the illusion of a boost, but overall, avoiding unhealthy snacks will give you much better sustained energy throughout the day. And then the last one, and again, one I am incredibly guilty of, is overcommitment. If you're expecting too much from yourself, if you're pushing too hard, that can zap your energy. I tell Tracy all the time, when I've done it again and overcommitted, that all I really want to do is go lay in bed and read a book. It kind of makes me shut down. So pay attention to that. Are you overcommitting? Are you overscheduling? Are you being too hard on yourself? If that is something that zaps your energy, stop, reevaluate, see if there's something you can cut, see if there's something you can push back, and then focus only on the things that are truly important. Make some progress there and watch your energy sort of rebuild. Sometimes it takes a little bit, especially if you've been overworking and overcommitting for a while. It can take a little while to recover from that and get back to your old, former energetic self. So now let's talk about some ways to recharge, some ways to refill the energy tank as you are busy using up some of this energy, creating these awesome products, building your business, and all those things. So one thing you can do is tap into mindfulness and meditation. They are very powerful tools, and sometimes it may feel like a little bit of a waste of time. You could be doing something more productive, but if you give it a try, you'll quickly find out that it is some of the best use of your time and your energy to help you feel more energized and ready to go. So some quick and simple things you can do throughout the day. The first is breathing exercises. There's various different exercises out there. I particularly like one called box breathing, where you breathe in for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, and then again hold your breath for a count of 4. And just doing this 2 or 3 times as I'm taking a break, or when I find myself kind of stuck or low on energy, can really give me that boost to keep going and feel refreshed. Another great thing you can do is something called a body scan meditation. And there are plenty of these types of meditations available on YouTube and through various meditation apps. And the idea is simply to relax. You can do this sitting, you can do this laying on the floor or laying in the bed. And you close your eyes and you just kind of go through your body one step at a time, often starting at the crown of your head and moving down to your feet with the goal of relaxing every single part of your body. We're just checking in and seeing where you're holding and carrying some tension. So give that a try. Some of them are 5-10 minutes long, some of them are longer. See what works for you and you can make it part of your morning routine. You can make it part of your afternoon pick-me-up, wherever it works or fits in your day, or just do it as and when you need it while you're working through a difficult project, for example. And then last but not least, I encourage you to start a gratitude journal. This can be super simple. For years, I've had just a tiny little notebook. And all I do is every day I write down the date and 3 things I'm grateful for. You can do this in the morning, you can do this at night, you can do it both times. But the idea here is to really tap into the positive vibes of counting your blessings, essentially. And it is much more impactful than you'd ever expect. And once you've kept your journal for a little while, it is really nice to be able to flip through and think about this abundance of things that you are grateful for. So give that a try as well. So 3 tools for your toolbox to kind of tap into meditation and mindfulness. Those breathing exercises, a body scan meditation, or really any other type of meditation that you enjoy, and then a gratitude journal. So give those a try. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk to you about as far as refilling that energy well throughout the day is something we already touched on a little bit, and that is the power of taking breaks. Taking breaks really helps you recharge, and often just stepping away for a little bit helps you push through. It helps you see things you didn't see before, and it helps you make progress faster than if you skip the break. Counterintuitive, but you will see it for yourself once you embrace this. One of my favorite tools here is the Pomodoro technique. And there the basic idea is to have set blocks of time that you focus on as hard as you can, and then breaks. So the traditional Pomodoro method is you work for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. You work for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. And after 3 or 4 of those blocks of work and break, you take a longer 15-minute break. See if that works for you. That's the traditional Pomodoro. What works well for me is 20 minutes of focused work with a 5 to 10-minute break. So play around with that and see where you are most effective and most efficient at. But really use something to force yourself to take these breaks, to get up, to move around, which that brings us to the second tip I had here for you. It's just to move. So really make it a point to get up. Don't spend all day behind your desk, behind your laptop. Go for a quick walk. Go unload the dishwasher. Go do a load of laundry. Do some sort of other household chore, or get in some sort of little exercise, whatever it is that you enjoy. Move your body and see if this using physical energy doesn't help replenish your mental energy. For me, if I'm really drained, one of the best things I can do is go outside for a walk. That just does it for me. So play around with that, see what works for you, and kind of play around with the amount of breaks and the length of breaks and the activities that you do during your breaks. And don't forget to have a glass of water while you're on break as well. And then another great idea is to tap into creativity. Do something creative. Think about the hobbies that you have, or maybe the hobbies that have fallen by the wayside. And especially if you've been working on something very analytical, sit down and craft something, paint something, knit something, whatever it is that you enjoy, and watch how taking those breaks and switching up and doing these other activities can really help you replenish in particular your mental energy. And it will help with emotional energy as well, because it is something that you enjoy and where you relax and recharge. And then last but not least, this is especially for my extroverts out there, do something social to recharge. This might not hold true as much for an introvert like myself, but extroverts really need that social interaction. So go out there, meet a friend for lunch, call somebody up, go talk to your spouse, go check in with your kids, whatever it is that you need to do to recharge that social battery and get that energy flowing back in. And as we wrap this up, because I think I've been talking for a good 20 minutes here to you already, I wanted to quickly go over 3 energy management myths and why they don't work, even though we may think they do. And the first one, probably the one that came to mind when if I would have asked you what do you do if you need a quick energy pick-me-up, is caffeine. So I'm as guilty as anybody of just going and grabbing a big old cup of coffee. But the problem with caffeine is, yes, it works, but it's temporary. And the downside is that you'll have a big crash once you've had that coffee, especially if you combine sugar and coffee, like have a big frappuccino, that kind of thing, or my favorite this summer, a Vietnamese iced coffee. Talk about sugar and caffeine overload. So just pay attention and use it judiciously. Don't rely on it as your energy pick-me-up. I still enjoy a good cup of coffee in the morning and often have another cup in the afternoon. But I try to focus on replenishing my energy in other ways and just using the coffee because I love coffee. So, but just pay attention to how it affects you and be aware of having the crash and that it's just a temporary fix. It doesn't actually replenish your energy. It just lets you burn the candle a little hotter, a little bit longer. The second myth is that to get more done is to just do more work. Put in more hours, put in longer days, cram in more in your day. While that might work in theory, what happens here is that we overwork, and that leads to burnout. And there's 2 things at play here. The first is the idea of diminishing returns. As you get more tired mentally, physically, you're not going to be as effective and as efficient. You're not going to do your best work. So even though you might sit there another 3-4 hours trying to finish something, you end up actually making very little progress, where the better strategy might have been to call it a day, go spend some time with your loved ones, recharge, get a good night's sleep, and then finish in the morning when you're refreshed and energized. And the other thing is, again, burnout. Burnout is something I have experienced several times in my life. And once you are in full burnout mode, it takes a very long time to recover. It takes a long time to build up those energy stores and get back to where you were before. If I have one piece of advice for you, it is do not go into burnout. Stop yourself before then, take breaks, manage your energy wisely to avoid that, and you'll keep yourself from a whole lot of pain and disappointment in the long run. And then last but not least is that really energy management is all about physical energy. We get tired because we've been up and moving and doing a lot of things. But here I wanted to remind you that earlier in this video, we talked about the 4 different types of energy, that it isn't just physical. It also isn't just physical and mental. It is also emotional and spiritual. And again, if you're going through something emotional, whether good or bad, that can tire you out. And what you really, in our line of work, what you really want to pay the most attention to and guard the most is your mental energy, because that's, for most of us, is where we run out of energy the quickest. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please leave a comment and let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, and I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. There's much more coming in the weeks and months to come. Tracy and I have a lot more to share. And if you have anything to add to the conversation, is there something that I didn't touch on when it comes to energy management? Is there a tip or a hack that you found particularly helpful? I would love to hear about that in the comments below. That's it from me. I can't wait to hear from you, and I will be back shortly.